Yeah, I just snuck in.
See the red dot? There we go.
I walked up. There you go.
Whatever, yeah.
If you have a question for me, you can say that.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's all right. If you think of one, you can come back in.
No, it's super easy. That
John, you got a
screen
question
is
for
really-
me? You can write it down there and put it in the box.
Hey,
Abby, how are you? Really good. I see Randy's here. He asked about coming. Huh? He said, yeah. Yes, I need to get his it have responsibility. Would it be okay if I came up there? I'd have you come up there. My lesson. Thank you. Somebody, I think, thank you. No, I think it was one of those. God. And then he sends them off, and then they make clothes out of it. He was in there for a while, quit. But I got several of his pieces. But that's about, I don't, buy a lot of art for the wall, but I also, okay, I'll buy some. I may get better now.
Is she in town?
Yes, I saw the
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
It's like abstract.
Yeah, it's
colorful.
so
Yeah.
a long time
She's
ago,
already
like,
been
oh my gosh, probably almost 4 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I saw she had some.
Just like have
Like I
school and
saw
all
the
that.
name and
Well, it came with
Jasmine, I think it's like Jasmine. Randy, good question.
I'll put a
right,
question
how are
for
you?
James.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look at it, I'll pull them out.
So what are you doing this summer? Do you have to take
It's true, it's a true.
No, I almost did it one time. It was an old chair many years ago.
like
He
staring
put it on a rotation. People wanted to
I'm
do
coming back up to the party.
primarily because we had online class and preachers
Okay, yeah,
didn't
text me.
have to be
I'll put up a
there.
calendar.
And so it kind of rolled around to me. And so several other people in front of me, and all the online classes got taken. We had some in-person classes made. And then they said, well, there's actually not enough enrollment.
Yeah, where y'all wanna go?
So you won't get paid as much.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
I actually shouldn't have done that.
Nah, we'll figure it out quick.
The time off is way more valuable.
I agree with that.
That's why I like my job. That illness. I'm paying rent.
This is new. I'm not taking it off. It's filthy. You really like it. It's like wearing my pajamas in public.
Yeah, well, I didn't get any kind of hint that there was.
Thank you, Randy.
Yeah.
Did you put two in there?
Just one.
Good to see you.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, walking proper.
So,
Yeah, well,
last thing
this
was
is
okay with Diane. How you think things go? You said that she can go in. That was that. Oh, the court thing was just.
Yeah. And then last night was interesting.
Oh, yes.
But Chris texted me this morning. Chris spent the night with him in the hospital because Amber had to go home with her other kids. So Chris went over and spent the night with him at the hospital, and they're taking him probably to St. Simon to see him. So they get a full psychiatric, which is what he needs. I talked to him, and he's like, and he was pushing. He said he was going to hurt himself, and he hurt himself, and so finally she called the police, and they went at 10:30.
I know.
Which was good. That's what he needed. And then he was like, I didn't really mean it. But then the doctor came in and started. The doctor said,
This isn't something that I
it may only be for a couple, 3 days, but I told Chris I'd talk to him this afternoon and see how things are going. Shanika called me about 10 minutes ago, 10, and said, I'm the only one here today because there's no one else here at church this morning. It's like, no, I know someone's preaching this morning because Clint's there to preach this morning. I said, no, other people will show up.
I'll see you. How are you?
Was that you I saw out disco dancing? Oh, cool. It looked like you have blast. Yeah.
Looks like regular.
Yep. Excellent. I love it.
The little dogs are not like those.
Start teaching again, maybe grade. Yeah, my final grade.
So you are teaching a class each summer?
I'm teaching two.
Okay.
One of them is like 6
Okay.
10.
Okay.
And then the other one is but it's in the second one. The second one is the second half.
Okay.
So yes, I am teaching all three. I got them all.
Yeah, but that's always
I just
just
teach
crowded.
that. And this other one. Well, so I could say no, but then I would only get one class.
Yeah.
I'm teaching all three. But I'm traveling a lot, but I'm teaching online.
Yeah.
So I can Yeah, I'm thinking about going down to Jacksonville this weekend, this week, to see my son.
Oh, fun.
So, we're campground here in Jacksonville. Right on.
I'm not surprised.
So I'm very excited. So I'm going camping for a week up north in Vermont. So I'm getting my gear organized. I'm like, this is like my best one.
There you go. You're going to go down and camp in Jackson.
I am.
Good to see you. See you too. Let's see that. Yeah.
I'm excited. One after my granddaughters. I don't even know how I can say this out loud. 17. I don't even know.
So you adopted your child when you were 12. That's what you're going with. I know, right? It's crazy.
Good morning. How are you? I'm good. All right, write your question and I'll get it up.
Let me get coffee while I have time. You're fresh back to your
And then we're going Kentucky and then to Ohio.
Okay.
And we got an Airbnb on Lake Erie in the and we're taking my so that's kind of nice.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, she's good. She's good.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
Chicago this coming weekend for graduation. And not doing anything until going to GA. Third week in June. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. My nephews. I've never been to Baltimore either. But my nephew and his partner live in Baltimore.
You think people will Oh, yeah, I haven't seen her. I know they said she's supposed to be back this week. Last week I was It's not silly, I just go laughing. Look, I haven't seen you in 2 hours. It's probably been like 2 weeks. I got it running right now. This is really easy.
Quiet night at home.
I'm glad to. I love hearing stories about people. But we will do it again.
Yeah, which is fine. We're in a little bit slower cycle right now.
Now, before Al comes up here to welcome y'all, you want to take a picture of this, you can, because this is the last time this slide's going to be up here. Here's Sherry.
Welcome and good morning. Good morning. And happy Mother's Day. I'm Al, and as president of fellowship this year, my purpose in getting up here is to welcome everybody. Come, whoever you are, holding various beliefs, whatever your skin color or national origin, whatever your age or gender identity, whatever your abilities, whomever you love. You are welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Statesboro. You are welcome in this, our religious home. We extend a warm welcome to our visitors, any visitors and guests. And if anyone would like, we invite you to take a moment now to introduce yourselves. Any recent visitors? We're all repeats. Very good. Thank you, members and guests, for sharing your resources during our offertory later in the service or via our website, which is www.uustatesboro.org. In the month of April, half of our offering that is not designated as pledge, we have for now designated to go to the Boys and Girls Club of Bullitt County. Somebody was expressing concern about that as to their programming. And if it doesn't go there, if we need to reassign, it would go to Foster and Bullock. But I think this 3 weeks that we have actual services this month within the Boys and Girls Club. Now I invite you to join me in reciting our congregational affirmation. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Our worship leader this morning is the Reverend Dr. Jane Page, in her last scheduled Sunday as our pastor before retirement. If you have any questions, just ask Mama Jane.
So seriously, there's a box in the back, and if you have not yet done so, or any time in the service, if you think of one, you haven't thought of one, you think of a question you'd like for me to share during the sermon time, go back in there and write a question down, because if there are no questions, there's no sermon. This is the way I do it. One Sunday a year. One Sunday a year, I don't prepare a sermon. You prepare it by asking your questions and putting them in the question box and challenging me to see if I can come up with some kind of appropriate answer. Well, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. And we're going to dedicate the chalice light this morning for mothers and mothering. A lot of mothering goes on by people other than birth mothers, right? There's a lot of mothering goes on. To those, we're going to celebrate those who have nourished the light of truth and compassion in growing minds and hearts. And to celebrate all of you who've committed time, money, energy to the growth of others in this world. So we'll light this chalice to celebrate and hold dear that flame of love. I'll invite you to say the chalice words with me as I light the chalice. Then I will give you a note and we will sing Rise Up, O Flame, and Rise Up with it 2 times. Ready? This is our chalice of love and light, uniting us all by day and night. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. And while you're up, if you will turn around and greet your neighbors.
I'm sitting back here.
They're great.
There you go.
I'm glad we have some children here today, but this story, as all of our time for all ages, is for everyone. A story for all ages. It's called The Goodbye Book by Judith Bjorst, and I think you can appreciate it for this occasion. Don't go. I don't want you to go. I don't want you to go to a French restaurant and leave me home. I want you to go to McDonald's and take me with you. I'll even go to the French restaurant. No, I won't have fun with the babysitter. I hate babysitters. They can make you eat vegetables. They could make you watch the TV programs they want to watch. They could even make you go to the bathroom before you go to bed when you don't have to. I didn't say they did, I said they could. And also, I'm sick. I mean, I'm getting sick right this second. I mean, my head hurts, and so I can't see, and my knee hurts, and I can't walk, my throat hurts, so I can't swallow supper or water or anything except a little chocolate chip ice cream. I mean, maybe I'm dying. Don't go. Don't go until you've read me one more book. Okay, half a book. Okay, a poem. I'm really mad now. I mean, mad. I mean, tomorrow when you say good morning, I'm not going to say good morning. And tomorrow when you say, guess who we met at the restaurant? I'm not guessing. And tomorrow when you say, let's read a book, I'm covering up my ears and I'm not listening. Maybe I won't even be here. Maybe I'll run away and find a new family that always stays home and never goes to French restaurants. You're going to be so sad. You're going to cry and cry. You're going to be really sorry. Look, is that the new babysitter coming in the door? I see. You're still going to the restaurant? Stop that. I don't want that. I don't want a goodbye kiss. I don't want to say goodbye. I'm not saying goodbye. I'll never say goodbye. Oh, but look at that. Good books with a new babysitter. Goodbye. All right. Anybody want to come help lead? Thank you, Matilda. All right. Here we go. Wow. Oh, yeah. What are we doing? Thank you. Here we are. Turn around. We are Unitarian Universalists, people of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. Oh, wow. Now, if y'all in the middle will stand up and make a bridge, and I'll give you a note. Beneath arms, we shelter you. You warm our hearts as you pass through. May our love guide you as you go, to help you learn and help you grow. Thank you. You may be seated. I have a reading for you today, again selected especially for today because it's the beginning of summer, even though it doesn't look very summery right now with our rain, but we have to have rain, right? Thank y'all, by the way, for coming out of this rainstorm. It's one of my favorites, and I selected it both because it is about summer, which we're coming up on summer, and also because it's a question box sermon day, and this poem by Mary Oliver asks a lot of big questions for summer day. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who's eating sugar out of my hand and moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. Who is gazing around with her big, enormous, and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and she floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Mary Oliver. John Page, will you bring me that box up here, please? We're going to have a little bit of silence, and then I'm going to attempt to answer these questions. Thank you. Yeah, the flowing. All right. Who should we reach out to if we are uncomfortable with our new minister?
Oh my goodness.
Well, first, you should take a few deep breaths, breathe, and wait a little bit. Wait a while. Sometimes when something new happens, it takes a little while. Now, the new babysitter in the story came in with books, and that helped. But sometimes it may take a little bit longer. So don't complain at first. Don't complain. Don't reach out. Just let a little while to get used to the differences, because whoever ends up leading you, ministering to you, which also are each other, right? Because we have shared ministry. It will be different. There is only one Jane. Thank goodness. So take a little while. Now, after a while, the people that are ultimately responsible for whether or not the same person comes another year will be your board. And so there are possibilities there. But I bet if you give it a chance, you will find that you can learn something really good from whoever leads you, whether it's leading you one another or ministers. There are good things that everybody has to offer. So take a little while. Wow, that's the one that hits you when you for the first one. What plans for RE do you have? No, I'm sorry. CRE? You have from retirement. I'm sorry. Who wrote this? What time for what? I'm gonna just pretend like this says for fun. I don't know what it says. Maybe for recreation? What plan? Obviously, what plans do you have in retirement? Well, after you all send me off on May 25th, when we have the potluck at our home, Greg also retired this year. Gave his last test Friday. And so after the 25th, May 25th send-off, first thing we're going to do is go to Scotland. How about that? Escape from the United States for a couple of 3 weeks. But we'll do other things too. I am going to be still serving the congregation in Brunswick for 2 more years, but I will have other times to do other things, and we'll see what those kinds of things can be. We'll kind of plan as we go. We haven't made those concrete yet, so. I will say my great-grandchildren, who y'all see coming in here sometimes, they are moving back to Statesboro. So that tells you, okay? They're moving back here, so that will certainly take up lots of time. That's a blank one. Answer that one. Have you ever owned a cat?
Oh no.
I know you wrote this one because you told me that I just asked that to be a quick answer.
No.
And I said it might not be a quick answer.
Oh.
I had, when I was a young woman, a cat that shared time with me, but I don't think any of us own our pets, right? We share time and space with them, but they're there. If you've ever had a cat, you don't control the cat. This cat sometimes owns you, right? So, so I will say I have spent time with a cat in my very early adulthood, but not later on, because I admire you cat people, but it's hard. That's hard. Being a minister is tough enough. Having a cat is very difficult, and they don't seem to want to cooperate with me, but I haven't learned well how to cooperate with them. So. But I do admire. I like cats. Also, I do have allergies, and that's the other problem. So, pick a memory of a day at UFS that stands out and share. Well, I have to say that, and many of you were not here, some of you were, but my ordination and installation was really quite memorable. It was on Grady Street, and at the same time that we were getting ready for that, my dad was across the street in the hospice dying. So it was a highly emotional time for me with all of that going on. But some of my minister friends were here to help with the day, and that was a very memorable time, I think. And gosh, but if I start naming others, they're just too many things. Some of the things we do a lot that we've done through the years, I won't name one particular one, but I have loved our Christmas pageants. Because they're unrehearsed, and that every year something happens that is just, you cannot predict. And there's some years it's all kids, a lot of times more recently we've had many adults playing as well. But too many things to think about, I think. All of it has been treasures, sweet, sweet treasures, as you are. Please, Mama Jane, share some wisdom for life after 50. Gosh, 50 was so long ago. I'm 74. Now, I will tell you, though, that is, turning 50, that is when that's the time of life that things shifted for me. Life has been so much better. So much better after 50. For one thing, you just start accepting a lot of stuff that you can't control. You quit trying to fix everything, and you say, okay, that's a big thing. I don't think that your life has fewer obstacles. In fact, you have more aches and pains as you get older. But you begin to be able to live more deliberately. You kind of listen to those poems like Mary Oliver did and said, what do you want to do? You realize that, okay, maybe at least half time, what I want to do with the second half, if I have a whole second half or whatever I have left, and you begin to appreciate it, and it just gets better. So people that tell teenagers, oh, this is the best years of your life, I said, please don't tell them that. No. No wonder they, no. It gets better as you get older. Or you learn to live with it more. You have difficulties, but life is better. Will you miss us? Oh, I have been missing y'all already so much. I mean, but here's the thing. I'm making an agreement that I will not be coming to services, okay? But I'm going to be your friend. You're going to see me. I mean, we're going to be, you know how it is, you end up going to the same places, you run into people, you do the same kinds of things. So I fully expect to be seeing you even next year when I'm away from the services. I'm going to get off of the Facebook church page, but I'll be there on Facebook too, those of you who are on Facebook, and I'll be in town, I'll be, around, but I will not be your minister. So you can see me, hey friend Jane, I see you, let's chat for a minute, whatever. But I won't be your minister. I'm going to back off from that. But I'm not going to go stick my head in a closet and stay there when I'm in the States Park. I'll be out and about. You'll see. Somebody said, well, we'll miss your voice in the community when things come up. And I said, my voice is not retiring. Okay. What memory comes to the mind of an early time you really felt like a minister? I felt like a minister long before I became the official minister. I felt called to be a minister early in life. And so there wasn't a huge I think I'm a minister kind of thing. I felt that I wanted to minister to people, and that's why I'm glad now we had this idea of shared minister, because I want the idea that only somebody who has a certain degree or stamped for approval by some group or something is a minister. We are all ministers. So I felt the need to minister, to be there for people, to share with people from an early age. Now, I grew up in a church that I could not become a professional minister, not even a deacon, and they still can't. But I was able at some point in time to move up that in life. And then when I was at my halfway house, Pittman Park Methodist Church, I got my training to be a lay minister, and started being able to actually be okay to preach, in front of people, this. And then when I came over here, started seminary. But so I felt like a minister. I felt like I wanted to be a minister from the time I was about 12 years old. Because we had youth group, youth day, youth night, or whatever, and we'd take over, and I always ended up being the piano player or the organ player, but I knew I'd never get to be the minister. Sometimes they'd select a guy that was like really bad. I mean, some of them were good, some of them, but it had to be a guy. Oh my. What are you looking forward to doing that you and Greg have not had the time to do? Any advice for upcoming retirees? Well, I've been watching some of you retirees and watching what you're doing, and so, actually, I'm trying. Y'all know I let plants die. Right? I mean, one time Sherry, when I had some occasion, came up and gave me a plant. I thought, Sherry Barr knows how to kill this plant. She's giving me a plant. But she probably knew what I was going to do with it, which I gave it to John. But I am trying to learn. My son John, is teaching me a little bit. We pull up all the big high shrubs that we keep having to cut back around the front of the house, and we planted basil and parsley and asparagus and what is it, that stuff? Nasturtium. I've been eating those leaves. And so I'm listening, I'm watching, and I'm going to try to learn more about gardening. I really am. I'm trying to, not know when to water and when it's going to be tough for me because I'm not a natural. But you can learn things, and so that's one of the things. I think I've got time to do now. Before I said I ain't got time for that. Well, now I have time. I hope to do a lot. I'm going to continue writing. I won't not be writing more sermons, but I'll write more things about other things that maybe I didn't think I had time to write before. We're going to travel some. Travel some during the wintertime. Before all our traveling was sort of condensed to the summer, and there were places that I did not want to go because it was hot. I don't like to be hot. So I said, Greg, we have to go up. We'll go to Iceland, we'll go this way, Canada, up. But now we can go to other places because we can go in the winter. So I won't be snow skiing though. Been there, done that, that's okay. The things I won't do, I'm very careful now about, I don't want to do anything where I may fall. But my advice for upcoming retirees is just don't sweat it. Don't make me plans. This is what I'm going to do, because, I've known too many retirees that when they retire for various reasons, they can't do that. And they've got this strong list, and then they're hugely disappointed. So just go with the flow, see where it takes you, have a good time. So I'm also I will continue to be even more involved in social justice and lifting my voice up in my two communities and things like that. I'll have time for additional organizing, those kinds of things. Please, Mama Jane, any advice for parenting young adult children? I would say that the best thing to do, again, take a step back and breathe. It takes some steps back and realize that your child is an adult, maybe not the adult doing the adult things that you would hope for. Be there for support, for encouragement. But if you nag or you try to put certain kinds of boundaries, you know, it's not going to work very well. Now you do need to be supportive of your young adult, children, grandchildren, I have young adult, now I have young adult grandchildren, so this is where I am now. Support, but not enable. That's hard. There's no easy answer to that. It's like walking on a tightrope, you know, which way you lean. And because every kid is different. It's what I might do that might have worked well, may not work well with your young adult children. Recognize that they're them. They're different than you. They have their own life. It's like that thing we read from Khalil Gibran. You can, you know, you're the bow, but you're not the arrow that goes forward. When did you have hear your call? Well, I think I shared that with you, but when I was a young person, 11, 12, I wanted to minister in some ways, you know. And then I just said, well, I can't. You go. I can't preach. So I'll teach. A teacher is a calling as well. I had a good long career as a teacher, and I'm proud of that. That's a good thing to do, and it can make a huge difference. But I think I've always had this call. And now when I did get into UU, and I was at the time at Georgia Southern, and I was doing a lot of social justice stuff as in the community as a professor with special education. And I was writing and speaking and stuff like that, and it occurred to me, you know, Jane, you could do this for a living. This could be your job, you know. Oh, that would, you know, it could be what I do, you know. So if I could, so I went to the human resources person, or whatever they're called now. It's not HR anymore, it's something else, isn't it? It's still HR, okay. You know, to change the names of them, it's still HR, okay. I think back then it was something else, maybe, I don't know. But I went to the person and said, when can I retire with my, and not be punished for retiring too early? When can I get my when can I get my 30 years out? I'm under ITRS, teacher retirement. When can I get my 30 years in? And she looked at everything and she said, if you don't get sick, you can retire at the end of June. Because I was at that time on a 12-month contract, so I had sick leave I was a department chair. So if you don't get sick, with the sick leave you've got reserved up, and they would let you use that for if you were on a 12-month contract like a staff member. You can retire in 2005, June of 2005. So I worked really hard not to get sick, you know. And I was able, and then I went ahead and got in seminary. So I was going to seminary all this time, from that time on, looking forward to meeting that time. Then retired in 2005, did my internship 2005, 2006 in Augusta, and then you all called me to be your minister in 2006. So, and I've done that ever since. So that was my call to UU. I have to tell you too that there were folks here that were encouraging me because they said, well, let's just grow our own. We were a small congregation, didn't have a minister. We could grow our own. And James, you know, I was already preaching some. Well, you know, she can retire. That worked out pretty good. Grow our own minister. So there was some people encouraging me to do that. And then, oh, shoot, y'all. I can't. Normal last name. Hallie, thank you. She gave a little gift in her will to go to help be able to get that started, to go toward being able to pay for me to be a minister. So that was a good thing as well. What wisdom would you give to someone discerning a vocation to the ministry? Do you wish you'd gone into the ministry sooner? I'll answer the last question first. No, I don't think I would have gone any sooner. I think for me, it worked out fine. I mean, yes, I thought it way back when, yes, I felt like that, and it wasn't an option for me. It wasn't an option. But gosh, I'm so glad that it wasn't an option. I could have ended up being a Baptist minister. So, it's all fine because not being able to do that made me open my eyes when I was a teenager as I was reading the Bible and everything about the whole thing, about patriarchy and all that stuff. That sort of helped me to wake up to the whole stuff, to everything. So maybe it was good when you think about it that I had that boundary there that I couldn't cross. It made me look beyond that and made me think in a wider, bigger way. I think that's what happens sometimes with some folks who are constrained. Those folks seem to sometimes make more progress in terms of their philosophy of life, in terms of how they treat others, etc. Because they're in that box and start looking beyond that. It makes them look beyond not just that one, but others as well. So no, I think it worked out fine for me. Now, what wisdom would I give to someone discerning a vocation to go into ministry? You need to make sure that's what you want to do. First of all, there's not much money in it. So there you go. I'm very blessed to have a pension. And then there's not much money in it, so it's hard to make a living. I have a lot of colleagues who are really struggling, especially if they've got big student loans, really struggling. It's hard to, especially in the UU congregation, we're so diverse, and I love it. I love the way that we have different views, different ideas and everything, but then you're gonna have somebody that's not pleased. So if you're somebody that you gotta feel like you're pleasing everybody, that you're making everybody happy, you're not gonna be happy in the UU ministry especially. It's just not gonna happen. So I would say really go through some deliberation, work with a professional, career assessments, things like that, and see if this is something you really want to do, because it's certainly not for everybody. But then I would hate it for anyone to discourage me, because it's been wonderful. So if it's something that you're feeling really, really called to do, then be discerning about it, but be open to it. You kind of have to be. Most of the people doing it now also think about it kind of in an entrepreneurial kind of way. Which, if you want to know the truth, what you should really do is talk to black pastors. Almost all of them do that because they have to. All of them have their business or whatever, and then they're preaching and they're ministering. So you almost have to have some sort of, what am I going to do for my other job, or what am I going to do in that kind of way? And so we have a lot of people, entrepreneurial kinds of ministers that minister to a congregation, but maybe they're also consulting in other ways, with chaplaincy, or doing some other kinds of things. So be open to being a multi-employed person, if you're going to do it. And hopefully there will be people that want to do that, because we need ministers and we need people to go into it. So I don't want to discourage anybody. I'm just saying it's not an easy job, because you almost can't take the hat off. You're always the minister. Middle of the night, things are coming in my head. It's very, and I know some of you are like that in your jobs as well. But it's very difficult. Sometimes when Greg and I can cross an ocean, I can kind of remove it a little bit. You don't have to go across the ocean to be able to kind of. But people need you, and so it's not an easy job, but it has been, though, a very fulfilling kind of work. And to be honest with you, I hate to give it up. It's hard for me to give it up. But I also began to realize I'm getting a little overwhelmed. I can't seem to do everything at once, and And so you have to recognize your limitations. And I'll be 75 in October. You know, I realize that. So it's not something that people say, oh, Brooke, congratulations, you get it. You know, this is not something that I'm like jumping up and down and celebrating. I'm accepting it because I can't do everything I've been doing. And so I'm accepting it, and I'm glad to accept it. And I'm glad, and also 19 years is a long time for any church to have the same minister. I know that as well. So I'm being realistic about that too. How do we be better neighbors to others in the Statesboro community? That is, you know, love your neighbor, love one another. I always say that over and over again. Folks, this community, it's a great community, Statesboro is. It's my hometown. I love it. But it's very difficult too. I mean, it's not like it was when I grew up here, but it's still difficult in other ways. And it's very difficult to love others sometimes in the Statesboro community, or to feel that you're loved by them. So I just say, you know, the best way we can love others is not only loving ourselves, accepting ourselves, but being with other people that love us. If you come here and get loved on, or other places, I'm not saying we're the only place, but if you come to a place like UU, that you feel loved, that you feel accepted, then you're more likely to be able, when you go out and you run into these people, to be more accepting and loving of them. You have to nourish yourself by coming here. Even on rainy days, come here, get some loving, feel some love, and then you can go out and you can be more loving to others and accepting of others. So I encourage you to keep coming. That's what you can do. Keep coming here, and then there are ways. We've had training sessions on how you talk to people who think a lot differently than you. One thing is to find that common thing first, and you know, even these people, you know who they are. They have joys and sorrows like you do. They have pain. They've been through some tough stuff. Some of them are also trying to deal with parents and children, or and trying to there are things that are there that you can connect with and you can talk about. And then when you connect on that personal level and you feel them as a person, then maybe you can talk about other things or not. You know, there's some things that some of my family members, I know it's going to end up in a really very difficult thing. So I just say, okay, we're not going to talk about that. And I know, I wish we could, but some things we're not. But I still want the love to be there. So you reach out with that love. And then maybe one day we can reach that up those other gaps. What are some of your favorite things about serving UUFS? Well, I love it. I love that you all are willing to do things for each other. And I see it all the time. I mean, you don't even know what somebody else is doing, but I hear about it, you know. And it's, thank you, you know, because we are a congregation that is here for one another. So we reach out to one another. And if you need something, maybe you think, I hate to reach out, but please reach out. And reach out to me if I'm still your minister. But if I can't be there and do it, I call somebody else or something. So reach out to one another. Now, Michael and Sherry have volunteered to be our pastoral care associates. And so you can reach out to them, please do. But you all have connected, I see, you all have connected in other ways with certain ones. And know that you're here for them. That's one of my favorite things about you all. The other thing, I used to think that Unitarian Universalists couldn't cook. I did. When I first, I said, these are all, well, when I first came in there, I looked around, there were a lot of other people. These were just academic people that don't cook. But you all are good cooks. I love that. And you share that. Oh, that's something else I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on cooking. I'm going to work on cooking. Shut up on that one. What has been the most rewarding aspect of UU ministry? What has been the most aggravating aspect? Okay. Rewarding is just, it is rewarding. Sunday mornings are rewarding, of course, you know. Singing, you know. I've loved that I've been able to thank you, Mo, and choir members for accepting me as one of your choir members. Love singing in the choir here in Brunswick. And I love singing. I love being a part of the group. I love ways that you think of the ministry. What has been the most aggravating aspect? Well, I guess it's aggravating when we know we need to do something, but we don't have the people or resources to do it. And we come with that a lot of times. We know we have a need, but we just say, well, we can't do that. And so, but we do about as much. I mean, with our budget and with our people, I'd say we do a doggone good job, you know, of what we've got. But there are other things we could do. And we just need more people to be saying, hey, I'll help, what can I do, you know? It doesn't, or I'll give, you know, so there are things we could do. So that's been, I've been worried, I don't know if it's aggravating, I've been worried about our children and about what we can do to nourish them more. And so, we have good people working with them now and everything too, but they tend to, and our youth, you know, because we're so small that sometimes it's not enough for others to come in. But if we could, maybe through the mountain, get them doing some things there with that, some way to be more nourishing for our young folks, because we want them to be a part of the community too. We want them to be here too. So that's been a little, I won't say aggravating, but worrisome, maybe, as we go forward. As you retire, what do you think you will miss most about you at UFS? I think I'll miss not being able to come here this next year. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but that's I'm just coming in the building, just coming over here. Has a lot of meaning for me. Just being here, it's not the, and being with you. Just and I'm going to do it because I know that's the best thing to do. But I think I will really miss that. So I'm not looking forward to that, but it will be okay. That's one way I am going to change. Instead of going back and forth to Brunswick next year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the Saturday before the first Sunday when I preach. I'm just going to stay through the second Sunday. On third Sunday, I'll come back. So I'll still be here half a month because I got my grandchildren, other things to see about, you know, great grandchildren. My mom, but then I will just have that one Sunday, the fourth Sunday, and maybe a fifth Sunday that I don't. You know, not the second Sunday I can just go to church there. And finally get to hear Clint. I have all this time he's been coming. I've never heard him in person because I'm always at the other place. So, what gives you hope? I got something. Hope is hard to find. What has given me hope recently is the number of people that I see that have come out to these protests and these demonstrations, and both here and in Brunswick, and they are, I mean, gung-ho, ready to stick with it and do what they need to do to make a difference. And so and some of them, I've had people tell me, this is the first protest I've ever been to. One woman that was like, in her late 70s told me that in one protest. I've never been to one, but I'm coming now. I'll be here. I'm thinking, wow, people, you know, this is good. I mean, not that we're going to change anything overnight, but we're going to say we're here, we're speaking up, and we're going to do what we can. The other thing is that people are not only showing up and raising their voices, they are giving of their time and money to help people who are going to be most vulnerable. It's going to get worse. And there are folks that are going to get really hurt badly. Some of them, could be some of us, you know, too. But which means that more of us will have to help as much as we can. And that's what we'll do as we go forward. but that gives me hope. I didn't like the idea of Bill Gates going ahead and giving away all his money. First, when I saw he was going to shut down the foundation, I said, what? Then when I saw what he was going to do, yeah, that's a good idea. We really need it badly now, so go ahead and help out while all this other's being cut. So if you have resources, you know, we're going to need them. I think people are going to need them, but if you have time, if you have love, you're going to get a lot of it. So I have hope you will do it. I think we'll be okay, eventually. It's we're going to have a storm, but I do have hope that we will be okay. And I also realize, y'all, I'm not Martin Luther King, but I'm not really good as him, of course. But I will quote him. I may not live to see it, right? I may not live to see it, but I think we'll be okay. What are your biggest religious influences outside of the Christian faith? Oh, that's a good question. Biggest religious influences outside of the Christian faith. I read a lot and I read widely, so I don't know that I have like, well, this is it, or, you know, Thich Nhat Hanh or whatever. You know, I don't have like one thing. I don't think. I think history and science have affected me greatly. Learning more about those things because you see your eyes get opened up about a lot of things. And you say, well, that's not religious. Yes, it is. Religious is what connects you with that which is bigger. You know, that's what it is. So it does. Listening to things. I have a conversation with Greg or with John, and they'll tell me things that at first I think, what? But if I stop and listen, I can learn so much. I have my eyes opened up a little bit more. So, you don't have to go sit in front of a guru. Listen to the person across the table from you. Yeah. And they may not be, quote, an authority, but they may be able to teach you a lot more than you think. And this is, I got two more. All the time of the alleged resurrection, at the time of the alleged resurrection of Jesus, were there many resurrection stories? Wasn't? Yes, there are resurrection stories in many religions, and at that time there were quite a few resurrection stories. So this was not an unusual thing. That this being dies, comes back to life. It's a kind of, so I'm, my feeling on the whole resurrection, it's a wonderful metaphor in a way that something revives, comes back, that you have a chance again. Meaning, I feel like I have a lot of resurrections, but I also can understand why many people would think someone that was dead for 3 days, especially in a time when you didn't have as much understanding scientific knowledge. My mama saw my daddy after he died in the backyard pushing a wheelbarrow. And you hear a lot of people that have things like that. And sometimes I, may hear something that's not really there, or think your brain feels it though, or hears it or sees it. So you got these women going out, Jesus is gone, if the story, you don't know if the story happened like that. Jesus is gone, but they see this, they somehow feel, you hear people think it feels like they're here, if somebody dies and you just I just feel like they're here. They feel Jesus' presence, maybe when they see this person or whatever, go back and share. They're sharing, other people feel that too, or they see this, and pretty soon if you're looking around, your brain says, yeah, there. And this is somebody you love deeply, cared about deeply, and it's still in a time when a lot of things people think this is possible. So it grows and spreads. What was the question? Oh yeah, it wasn't an uncommon thing to think. It wasn't uncommon, so yes, resurrection stories. Makes it very difficult for you to celebrate Easter. So some people do a flower communion, whatever. This Easter, we had a great Easter story shared by Mo. And I've shared this for you to look at any kind of Metamorphosis, resurrection, because in reality, we need resurrection. Somebody asked me about, what about salvation? Yes, we need salvation, but we need salvation not from hell, you know. We need salvation in this life. Salvation in this life. And y'all, you are my salvation. Unitarian Universalism, this faith is my salvation. It really is. What are you looking forward to in the next few years? I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about that, so I'm not gonna be able to answer that. I mean, I know we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna go to Scotland and things like that, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to finding out. I'm looking forward to the mystery of what will retirement be like. How will this be for me? I think I will be okay. I think that I will find my place in retirement. And I think I can still be a minister. I may not be your professional minister, but I can still minister to people just like all of you do. So I think that's, and I will still speak in churches and stuff like that. But I think I'll do other things as well. I think I have many growth opportunities. I think I have a lot of good time to spend with Alec and Elena and do things with them. We'll see. I don't know, but I'm open to the possibilities, and that's all we can hope for, all right? I want to end this, y'all, with I'm going to go a little bit over time, but it's my last day, so you put up with it. That's what I should have had that up the whole time. That's Mama Jane. I'm going to end though with singing a song with Josh Groban that you're going to sing with me. So you have to sing it with me now, okay? Everybody's going to sing this. What I Did for Love. Ready? It's the day goodbye, the sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck to say to you, but I can't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Look, my eyes are crying, the gift of lost tomorrow. It's as if we always do, and I won't forget what I did for love, what I did for love. Love is never gone as we travel on. Love's what we'll remember. Kiss today goodbye and point me towards tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Won't forget, can't regret what I did for love, what I did for love, what I did for love. our love by sharing our gifts and offerings, and we'll pass these beautiful silver plates.
Give thanks for the corn and the wheat that are reaped, for they were well done, and for barns that were deep, for the sun and the dew, and the tree that is home, for the wood and the song, and the harvest of home. Give thanks for the hills and the farms of our land, for craft and the strength in the work of our hands, for the beauty our artists and poets have wrought, for the hope and affection our friendships have brought.
Thank you for the gifts that you've shared, both of these altar plates and shared with me for 19 years and plus more. Now it's the time for our joys and concerns. If you plan to come and share a special joy and concern, we invite you to come up and share your name and share that. We are running over time, but I apologize for that. Do any of you have a special joy and concern you want to share? Our little candle went out.
Nobody lives in rock. I shouldn't be trusted.
Rock, okay.
Several weeks ago, I thanked the congregation, the fellowship, for all the support we got when my husband was struggling with sepsis. He has been released from home health care. He is walking unassisted, and we are leaving tomorrow morning for our normal summer in upstate New York. So we thank you all, and I know that prayers and thoughts and warmth from here is, I know it helped me, and I know it helped him, so thank you.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. Are there others?
I want to light a candle of thanksgiving for the Lamar family in California who have collectively been a mother to me and who have given me the chance to be a mother by giving me a godson.
I'm Sherry, and I have a couple of pastoral care updates for you. Some of the folks we love who are not able to be with us right now. I wanted to let you know that Betsy and Jim still appreciate our love and support. Jim is at home. Y'all remember he had a stroke and he can't walk. They just ordered a wheelchair. Bless her heart, Betsy's got her hands full. But so if you will, just people say, I don't know what to say. Just say your name. Just say love. And that people look at the card and they're so glad to know that they're in our hearts. So take time to sign the card for Betsy and Jim. Also, Matthew will give you an update. I tested him the 60-day for the engraftment. Things so far are still looking really good. It's still grueling. You can't be out around people, you know, and have various physical complaints. But he's hanging in, and he's on the path, and it makes his day better when he gets a card in the mail from us. So sign your name to Matthews. And then an update, we know Kathy and Larry have been absent because they're in Colorado, where they had to bury their daughter recently. And they are on the road coming back to us. So they expect to be home tomorrow night. So I want to leave this on your front door. So please put your name on them. We've been thinking of them and holding them in love and life. So the names are on it: Matthew, Betsy and Jim, Kathy and Larry is right over here. Then I have two more. I'm talking fast, Jane. All right. That's better because you've been being tutored by Joe.
Yeah.
Greg retired with help.
Yeah.
And it just felt biblical. This is a thing for you.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
So this is a gift for you to take home and them to help you plant and produce figs. And the good news is this particular variety after a year, it will bear fruit. Okay, so we look forward to hearing about it.
It's perfect. I wanted to put one more fig tree out there.
He
It's
wanted
perfect.
one way, you put one out, one more, that's perfect. Yes.
Super, and this one says it's self-fertilizing. So this you get to take home. This is in your honor,
Oh, okay.
but you don't get to take it home.
That's okay.
Because we want to be sure we remember you while you're gone.
Oh, okay, thanks.
So this is coming close beside it, if you will. This will go up in the
I hold plants too.
So this professional portrait of Jane, done on canvas, will hang in our hall. So we don't forget you, and anyone who comes will know about our minister of 19 years that we'll be missing for the next year. It's always in our hearts.
Oh, that's wonderful, thank you.
So 2 quick stones. One is this Friday I go to Chicago and I will be receiving my Master's of Divinity. Thanks to all of you to let you know, just because I'll be back in a couple of weeks, but to let you know that next year I will be, I have a residency at Emory again. And I'll be one of the Emory hospitals, won't know which one, but I have a 1-year residency as a chaplain at Emory. And this last one is an absolute candle of joy and thanksgiving for the best mentor and teacher I could have ever
had. It just seems really, really appropriate. I'm going to cry that I'm Beth, by the way, that this is Mother's Day. Because, you know, I know so many people in the room feel the same way, that we come to Unitarian Universalism for religious and soul healing, but we also come for family healing. And I've been here for 15 of these 19 years. And, you know, Jane and Sherry and Martha have all been such mother figures. We and I have done so much healing because of the unconditional mothering love that's here. So thank you.
Yes. And we all have reached out and felt that need, and yes, Beth, thank you. Our claim is a daughter.
So many of you come here on Sundays and are completely unaware of all the festivities that go on here during the week. So I just want to say, last night there was an enormous party in this room where about 60 people danced on a dance floor with smoke and disco lights, and it was a wonderful celebration of a year that one of the recovery meetings that meets here regularly has been meeting. And I think, I don't know how many people are aware of how much this building is alive 7 days a week. And last night was just a great example of that.
I saw a video that I think Michael put out. I said, oh, good, they've already put a lot of good energy in here. Feel it, yeah, for sure. Are there others? Well, I like one more for those joys and concerns that are in our hearts that remain unexpressed. Joy to see those sitting there, and all of you full of such joy. Let's sing Spirit of Life.
All right.
Stories of compassion, oh, in the wind.
we got some good coffee and other things waiting for us, but do we have any announcements? Al?
The board meeting would normally be tomorrow night, but we're rescheduling so that Kathy and more of the board members can attend. And right now, I believe we're going to settle on 7:30 p.m., not 7, on Monday the 19th.
Putting it off a week and putting it off a half hour too. 7:30 on 19th. Yes, on Zoom. Others.
One thing, quick thing, just not to miss the opportunity for folks who are less involved. If you have a need that's not pastoral specifically, or if you have a need and can't wait for Jamie's gone or me or Michael, we do have a committee on shared ministry. Thankful to Bard and to Adrian and to Mo who serve on that. And that is another confidential way you can reach out if you have a concern or a problem.
Yes.
Of course, to board members, and as Dave said, we're shared ministry. We try to take care of one another. But that is an official path. If you have a problem you've not been able to resolve within, then reach out to Bard, to Adrian, or to Mo.
Thank you for that reminder, Sherry. One other announcement, you are all invited. We are having a potluck on the 25th, so we're not going to be here. We'll have someone here to help people who show up that don't know about this. But the rest of you just come on to our home, and we'll have a potluck, and we got celebrate Greg's retiring, I'm retiring, and it's Memorial Day, and we normally do that anyway. So we'll have good stuff to eat and good times together. All right, let us sing one more time our benediction. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the Spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Sign those cards first and then go now in peace. Went too long, but I